He must go on the side of a jump or a turn and dust everyone else that's on the track.
What's up guys, I'm Josh Mosiman and welcome to another MXA tested video. In this one, we are testing the 2025 Kawasaki KX450. This thing was all new in 2024 and now for 2025, no major updates. But what does that mean? That means we know a ton about this bike. We have a lot of fun living with our two KX450s for the last year. We know a lot of upgrades for this bike. We know all the ins and outs of it. And in this video, we're gonna have Josh Fout, Dennis Stapleton, and myself talk about the KX450 and all we know about it. The 2024 model of this bike was all new and it finished 4th in our shootout last year. Pretty impressive for an all new bike, but there were a lot of things that we didn't like about that motorcycle. We just did a video recently where Josh Fout talked about all the parts he added onto it. Today we had Ezra Lewis riding the bike. He threw the whips, he blew up the berms. He's one of our most stylish test riders. Then we had our chief test rider for Kawasaki, Josh Fout. He's loved this bike for the last year. He rode it. And then our most picky test rider, Dennis Stapleton, he rode it as well. Diving into some of the details, this bike on the dyno, 57.2 horsepower, so it's not up there with the 59 and 60 horsepower machines, and it's very mellow character on the track. Also, on the scales, this is the heaviest motorcycle in the class. It's tied with Suzuki and Beta 450 RX at 239 pounds, so it is a heavy motorcycle. But Josh, Dennis, let's get them on here to see what they thought about the new 2025 model.
So today out here at Glen Helen, throwing my leg over the 2025 KX450, first thing I noticed is I'm always stuck in second gear in the turns, which makes the RPMs high, which kind of throws me off balance a little bit with the suspension because I'm in the higher RPM range where I would like to be in third, but I'm always shifting down to second. So therefore around the track, I was trying to figure out how to manage outside roll speed or whatnot to keep it in third gear, but I just couldn't. Anywhere that there's a load, soft dirt, or back up a hill here, I was always in second gear. Josh, how do you manage that? You've rode the Cowie for a year. You've rode plenty of tracks from East Coast to West Coast. What's the trick on this?
Yeah, here at Glen Helen, second gear does tend to bind the shock up a little bit and it does weird things. I personally like adding a 51 tooth sprocket to the rear. That's one more than stock. That kind of helps you bring that third gear momentum. You can ride third in sweepers, tight stuff. You're still gonna find yourself in second.
So we tried this other map today called the Chavez map. It seemed to help a little bit as Kawasaki widened the range for their phone app.
Don't expect it's not going to be like a Vortex. It's going to give you a little more power, bottom to mid, maybe a little over rev, but it's nothing crazy, but it is much improved.
For me, the KX engine, you know, it's either kind of high revving in second gear for me or third gear a little bit lugging. And then for me, one of the things that I didn't particularly like was the initial feel of the clutch. It didn't have enough pop. I'm not pulling the clutch all the way in, but I'm kind of feathering the clutch to keep the RPMs up or get the power up in third gear. The clutch just feels a little soft to me, the far reach of the clutch. Obviously, if you pull it all the way in, the clutch is fine and has a nice pop. The engine loads the chassis a lot in second gear, and third gear is just not quite enough. So it's something that you have to get used to, making your shift points really good on this bike for myself.
And I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm a notch below you in skill level. I'm a bit slower. I like this mellow engine. Doesn't need more, yes, but I like this because I can ride faster, longer, I believe. My only big problem is this bike vibrates a lot. I can feel the engine up into the handlebars. It's not a deal breaker, but you do feel it. A lot of vibration.
You get to ride a lot of our bikes along with myself. Is this one of the only 450s that you feel like you could twist the throttle all the way wide open here at Glen Helen?
Absolutely. I mean, we get on these other bikes. I don't think I've found the stop on the throttle in a long time. This bike, second gear pulls really far, so you wind it out, third gear. Yeah, it just needs a little more, but you can hit the stops pretty easily.
There are some things that we added to last year's bike to get some more performance out of it and some less vibration.
Yeah, it's been great riding the bone stock bike. It's brand new, it feels great, I love a new bike. So this new map, I would say the Chavez map is about 5% in an increase throughout. Riding my bike today, Vortex ECU, PC exhaust, 51 tooth rear, it's 20%, 25% better. It really brings the bike to life. So let's start with the Airbox. So what we did with the Airbox is we went with the twin air power flow. We found on the dyno it made no horsepower. I'm not made of money, so if I can buy one thing, it's that ECU. ECU, PC pipe are pretty much the exact same price. Get that ECU, you're gonna find more performance.
So this Airbox is new for 2025. The base plate is a little bit different and the air filter is now a domed filter instead of a completely flat filter, so we really appreciate that. Durability, we think it's going to be pretty good, but we don't expect it to be as good as the twin air power flow kit. Now this is what we replaced on our previous 2024 model, replaced the flat air filter. This one has good sealant, pretty solid connection to keep it in there and keep dirt out. So twin air power flow, Kawasaki obviously copied this for 2025 and we're very thankful for that. So one thing you need to know if you don't already own a Kawasaki or if you haven't ridden one before, these things, the plastic is not super durable. So you can see here, we only have 2 hours on the bike after riding today. We already got stress marks on the shrouds, and then the fork guards have been known to break very easily. We always replace them with Chirby's fork guards or just put a sticker over the stock one. But Dennis, you like the bodywork on this, right?
Yeah, the contact patch is really good, flares out, it's good. You can squeeze the bike, control it in the bumps. My boots don't catch the shrouds, and the seat foam is thick, has a lot of comfort, so it's pretty nice to ride. The rider triangle is pretty neutral, so overall, the feeling of this bike's nice. It's easy to adapt to quickly.
Yeah, and when it comes to rider triangle, it's really cool and rad of Kawasaki to make adjustable foot pegs that go up and down, optional engine mounts. The handlebars move forward and back, which most brands have that already, but still a cool option, and that helps get your comfort but throughout this motorcycle.
So today, you and I had a little bit different settings with the shock. I ran the sag more towards 100 millimeters. You liked it at 105.
Yep.
I dropped the forks 2 mil. What did you feel going back and forth, and where did you end up finding the range that you liked on this bike?
Yeah, I went anywhere from 110 to 100 mils. I right in the middle. I liked 105 on the side. 2 mils up in the clamp. I like that. It wasn't a huge change for me. The bike already steers really well. From what I know, this head tube angle is 1 degree steeper this year, so you do lose some of that stability. I just find the higher the rear gets for me, the busier the front end gets, and then vice versa. You lose a little front end traction when you get it down to like 110.
So for me, the most twitchy part of the bike is trying to get into the turn. The bike turns so well that it doesn't matter where I'm at, but it's just trying to get the comfort like down the big hills here. You know, if I adjust the shock up, it maybe works a little better on the lower portions of the track. If I adjust the shock to have more sag, it works better.
Yep.
Down the hills for the hop. So this bike can have some good fine tuning. It's just adjusting to what your personal likes are by setting your sag, learning about fork clickers, or fork position. 5 mil of stock, drop them 2 mil, makes the crust of the fork a little stiffer and make it a little bit more stable. Before you even think about buying aftermarket parts, learn how to make your bike work in the stock form and what you like about it. So if you're going to an aftermarket suspension company, you can explain to them the changes you did, what you like, and what you're looking for to get the best overall results. So the rear brake obviously is much improved over the 23 model with the big rear rotor. We have been told that they did do a last minute change for the old master cylinder. This brake is pretty grabby, but nothing like the big rotor 23 model. So that's a huge improvement. Still a good brake. We're pleased with it. The Brembo front brake has a lot of adjustment on the fly. Brembo's been known for amazing braking power, and the ability to drag the front brake through the turns is great on this brake. That's some of the pluses we really like.
So I did say that the retail price was $10,500 at the top of the video, but the KX450, the 2024 model, which is basically the exact same bike, just minor change to that filter, it's going for $6 grand at the dealerships right now. So rebates, discounts, everything's dropped down. They're trying to get those bikes out the door. We have a guy here today who told us he bought a bike for $6 grand, but then after the taxes and fees, it bumped up to $8,500. So you are saving some money still for a brand new 450 if you want to buy that 24 model, but there are some durability questions with that. Josh, what did you learn about this bike?
Well, I learned I hate to give Kawasaki a hard time because this new platform is good, but that money saved, you're probably going to end up putting back into this bike. We had things break, map switch, that was the first week, some roost hit it. We had a water pump seal at 20 hours.
Though the big question is clutch with this bike. What was that like?
Better than normal.
Okay.
20 hours on the clutch, but 20 hours compared to the competitors isn't very good.
Yeah.
But a lot better than before.
Okay, so the 20-hour clutch for Josh Fout on this bike, it's better than the old Kawasaki KX450, but not as good as KTM, a brand that's known for having the strongest clutch in the class. Also, last year we made a big fuss about the rubber grommet inside of the Airbox. We took that out and it did help a little bit of the snap of the throttle with this KX450. For 2025, it comes without that rubber grommet in there, so that's much nicer. If you want to put it back in, you can, but definitely don't recommend it. Tell us a little bit more about that clutch. 20 hours on average, but how did it do at Redbud?
Yeah, in this SoCal weather out here, we got 20 hours easy. At Redbud, it was a bit of a mud race. The bike was getting warm. We got about 1 hour out of the clutch.
Okay, so not quite the same.
Not quite the same, so it does show durability is down a little bit.
What about brake pads, chain guide?
Surprisingly, brake pad, 40 hours.
Nice.
Yep.
Not bad.
Chain guide, 12 hours.
12 hours.
Lost the rear chain guide in 12 hours. If I was doing that, I was replacing the front anyways.
Yeah, nice. So overall, 2025 Kawasaki KX450, we're thankful for that Airbox mod. We're also thankful for the ODI lock-on grips, very comfortable on your hands. Thank you guys for watching this video. We have a new Honda CRF 450. We did our first test on that. We'll be doing another one here in a couple weeks. Also, the Yamaha YZ 450F, it's got some significant updates, some minor updates for 2025. Stay tuned to that video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date, as we have lots of stuff coming out right now. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, at the end of this video, we'll send you Chavez's phone number. Yeah.
Everyone please text him for the screenshot.
We'll have pen and paper. I'm gonna cite his.
Well, you could probably screenshot it and put it on the article, right? Yeah. On the written one.
Yeah, we can put it in the video too.